If you look across history, banking crashes are among the worst because they affect the real economy. So if we look at the dot-com bubble again, so the dot-com era were characterized by companies that probably were just ahead of their time. So one of the stories I tell in the book is, when you have a wall of money coming in, why wouldn't you spend millions on a sock puppet and put it in the Supertime halftime show? I mean, you got millions. That was Pets.com, the most famous collapse. Or you spend millions building a 3D website when most people still had dial-up modems. Like, you remember those? Dring.
It makes that noise like a fax machine.
The phone, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get on the internet. So they were creating 3D websites. So they probably were ahead of their time. So that's actually one of the lessons. But the point is, the wall of money didn't come from banks in the dot-com era. It actually came from venture capitalists. And so it didn't actually, at the time, the investors in the stocks weren't doing so by borrowing money. They weren't investing on margin. And so that means that it was still a spectacular crash. I mean, the NASDAQ, which is a US tech index, didn't recover until 2015 after it crashed in 2000. That's 15 years. However, ICT was a smaller part of the economy and the banks weren't dragged down with it. So if you look at other crashes, like the financial crisis from just over a decade ago, when the banks lend the money, and that often happens with housing crises because they own the mortgages, then when the banks rebuild their balance sheet, so that as in, oh my God, my collateral is worth a lot less, I can't lend. The regulators are telling me I have to pull back. When they pull back, it creates a credit crunch. A credit crunch means that other people who running businesses or want to borrow mortgages, they can't access money. So if you can't access money, the credit crunch means the economy as a whole is impacted. And that's the difference between, say, the dot-com bubble crashing, which caused a pretty short and shallow recession, and the financial crisis from 2008, which caused a decade of a slow recovery as the credit crunch and banks rebuilt their balance sheets and everything worked through the system. And so throughout history, banking crashes lead to some of the worst economic outcomes. Unemployment goes up, the economy obviously goes into recession because there's not free, money, which was fairly freely available, isn't there. So in the book, I write about a banking executive who said to me, banks are so used to being able to access money from financial markets. He goes, it's as if your whole life you turn the faucet on and one day just nothing came out and they thought they broke the system. And so that's actually why banking crashes are the worst.
That was a clip from a recent conversation we had with Linda Yu about financial crashes. If you want to see the full episode, then just click here.